Welcome to episode 9 of the JG Talks podcast, hosted by myself, Lee Johnston. And of course, today we have another fantastic guest, somebody who I have been waiting for a long time to get onto the podcast. We have Susan Turner. Susan, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
It's been a while. I've been chasing you and asking you, and I even had to get your husband on the podcast first.
Okay.
So thank you very much for joining
Turner.
me.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very honoured.
Appreciate that. How's your summer been so far?
Amazing.
Yeah.
A month away.
Nice.
Europe. Got back a few days ago.
Okay.
As much as we love being away, love coming home.
Nice to come back.
Yeah. Rhythm, routine, environment,
Yeah.
house, things.
And it almost feels a bit like we're coming up to sort of Groundhog Day here in Dubai right now, because everybody's either back or coming back, and do you have that same feeling? It's about to get busy again. It's about to kick off again here in Dubai.
Yeah, my commute's about to double.
Yes.
And I will be that mother on Tuesday morning, shooing the child into school, doing the momentary sort of I'm upset, but going,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back to school time. It's quite exciting,
Yes.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we always like to kind of touch on the journey to Dubai. So taking it back to the start, how long have you been in Dubai for now?
Gosh, so I guess I'm a bit of a cheater actually, so I went a little bit of a different journey. So since 2009, I have been working in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So I did for 5 years, 2 weeks in the UK, 2 weeks in Saudi.
Wow.
And then finally in 2014, Pete and I said, my husband,
Yeah.
probably not a healthy life situation. So I think it was a step too far to both move to Saudi in 2014, very restrictive,
Yeah.
not really an environment conducive to living the kind of life that we were used to. So that was when we decided to get really serious about moving to the Middle East. And rather than Saudi, Dubai was just an incredible sort of in the middle. I could commute to Saudi from there, and Pete could find some good job opportunities. So 2014 was the official landing in Dubai, having our first apartment in Sport City.
Yeah.
Then that was me back and forward every Sunday and Thursday from Dubai to Saudi.
Wow. Okay, so you did that originally from the UK. You were back and forward a fair bit over to Saudi.
Yes.
Wow, that was a journey.
My carbon footprint was disgusting, but my air miles were incredible.
Good,
Nobody could beat me on points. So I was the queen of the air.
And then Dubai, I mean, when you mentioned kind of that sort of point, I guess, in between and a lot closer, and I suppose, like you said, maybe Saudi wasn't the best place at that moment in time. Was there also like an attraction to Dubai? Had you spent time here before on holiday? Do you have friends, family here that you thought, that's an amazing place? Or was it just it kind of logistically made sense?
We had some friends that lived here, and they lived in an area called the Greens, which you know.
Yeah.
And we used to stay with them, and it was so easy for us to come on holiday to an environment where there was a lot of fun. Language isn't really an issue.
Yeah.
And as much as you're not in the UK, the similarities in the way that you could live your life was incredible, but also the ease of living your life in Dubai. Everything can be delivered, everything's available. And if it's not available, there's somebody innovating who's going to find a gap and solve a problem that you have in your life.
Yeah.
So that's why coming here was an ease for us, but also I would say an upgrade to life and the way we lived our life.
Yeah. Okay. And when you were working in Saudi, were you in the same role that you'd previously been in from when you were traveling over from the UK? Did that change when you came here? Or
it definitely came at the right time because my role had intensified.
Okay.
So I set up the first chain of women's gyms in Saudi, which was quite a big thing because at the time it just wasn't allowed. You couldn't get a license, a little bit like back when women couldn't get driving licenses for Saudi. So as soon as we cracked that first gym and it was popular and successful, it then sort of snowballed into opening a lot more gyms. But
Yeah.
it took us a while to conceptually get it right, land it with the right audience, and get it busy enough to then say, okay, let's do another 7 of these in quite close succession. So living in Dubai meant that I wasn't too far away from the action. The time difference was better. And yeah, then 2 years later, we said, let's buy a house. So that was us in 2016. So we bought in the Greens, a lovely apartment overlooked the Emirates golf course.
Nice,
so there's a link here that we tend to only buy houses that are on or near a golf course.
Always a good idea.
And absolutely loved it because our friends lived in the Greens, and we actually bought in the same tower as our friends because we knew the area, we were comfortable. So that was our journey. So that was 2 years living in Dubai to really sow the seed and say, let's do it. All in.
All in.
All
It's
in.
the best way to do it, right?
Yeah, no other way.
And going back to what you said about your previous role, CEO of PureGym, right?
Yes.
Amazing role, amazing title. And was that the company that you helped to set up the ladies' gyms with?
No, so Ladies' Gyms was that was a homegrown brand. So that was me and a Saudi princess. And we did that together and put that business all the way through to, we got acquired by a Bahraini private equity company. They bought us. My plan was to stay, but I guess I was a bit inexperienced around what that meant when people buy your business and tell you it's wonderful. What they really mean is, how do we make more money out of this business? So, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just their way didn't align with my way. So I exited that in 2017. 2017, 2018. And that's when I was approached by another Saudi family, and they said, we want to bring budget gyms to Saudi Arabia. What do you think? Should we create our own, or should we go down a route of bringing a big brand to Saudi? And being the Brit that I am, we forged a really good relationship with PureGym, 600 gyms in the UK, great brand, great people. And as with franchise, it's all about the relationship and understanding any sort of localization that you need to do on a very British brand landing in a very different Middle Eastern country and culture. So that was me. So I set that business up. We started in 2019, just market assessments. Do people want to do this? Do people in Saudi even want to put their money online? Are online transactions a thing? No. And then 2020 happened, COVID. No one had a choice but to get on the e-commerce bandwagon. So we popped out of that in 2021 and we built 4 clubs in Saudi. So that was 4 clubs, and then we developed that to 23 gyms in Saudi and here in Dubai.
Amazing. And just going back a step again, because I mean, it sounds pretty fascinating, to be fair, in terms of actually being, that setup of ladies' gyms in Saudi Arabia, right? I mean, how much of a challenge was it to actually do that when you did it?
I had some moments, some pretty dark moments. Being a Western woman, trying to drive change, but at the same time trying to be very respectful that there is a different culture, there is a different mentality. So finding the balance between pushing the boundaries and knowing when it's a hard stop, and then you have to find a way around. So that was probably from 2009 to 2011. That was a long journey to how do we do this? How do we work around the legislation? And then eventually we ended up forming a committee with the now ambassador to the US from Saudi to put together our own guidelines and work with another big operator to say, we all want to do this, but if you're saying we can't do it because there's no guidelines, then let's create them together. So that's really how we did it. And then that paved the way for all the other brands to come in and operate women's gyms. And I think that mentality of rather than trying to keep it all to yourself and I want the women's market for myself, it's collaborating and saying, Saudi's a massive market, so let's just, other people need a piece of the pie, you know what I mean? So I think it's 36 million is the population of Saudi, and if half of those are women, that's a lot of women that couldn't go and move their bodies.
And did it kind of, obviously you do this as a job, right? And it's your profession and you're in that industry. Was there kind of a real sense of purpose around that as well at the time?
Yeah. I mean, I have lived and breathed fitness for my entire life. Like I really don't know much else in terms of other industries. I loved doing sprinting and long jumping myself as a girl right through to sort of 18 years old. So for me, it's just a great thing. You know, people can add different value to people's lives in different ways. Like you selling people houses that become homes where they raise their families and create all those memories. For us, it's giving women the opportunity at prices that they could afford as well, and a safe place to move their bodies. Like we have security guards on the door to make sure no men came in, because these women would be uncovered. But what surprised me was women were normally all in black, and they would come in and you'd expect maybe they'd be in black underneath. I've never seen brighter gym clothes in my life. And it was great to see, and all they wanted was dance classes. Zumba, give us more Zumba. And it was just a delight. I used to, when I'd be at the airport doing my commuter flights, these women would come up to me and shake my hand at the airport and say, thank you so much. And I didn't have a clue who they were because, they were covered. But that for me was the nicest feeling. Yeah,
because it was probably to some extent one of them that was easy not to do, because I'm sure you faced a lot of challenges in getting to the point that you did. But to have that kind of, to have that gratitude and people being so thankful for being part of it must make you look back and smile, I guess, to some extent.
We built real communities. We would have women come with their daughters and their sisters, and they would turn up with their flask of tea, pop themselves up in the reception area, and then ask all of the staff to come and sit and have, some Arab coffee with them, and I'd be included in it. And it was really important to them that if they were going to come to our gym, that they built that level of relationship and trust with us, having a drink together, and then they'd go off and do their class, and they spend 3 hours with us. And it became a big part of their entertainment. So we weren't just a gym where you get in and you get out as fast as you can. It was community and sense of belonging and their purpose and moving their body. So we became really more than a gym. It was so much more, and the fulfillment in that. I'm very lucky that I've got to experience that through work.
Definitely. No, it's amazing. Yeah, it's good to hear. And then that kind of led on then to PureGym, as you touched on before, and again, bringing that kind of size of brand over to Saudi. Was that an easy thing to do, or there was also a few challenges along the way there?
It was an interesting one because being British and bringing a British brand, it was always being very mindful of, even though you can align very much with that culture, and you also know a lot about Saudis, is making sure that everybody felt that when we developed the brand to bring it, that everybody had had a chance to participate and add what they thought was going to make it successful. So that role for me was more mediation, because I understood both sides of what everyone wanted from a UK Saudi, and then we had to land something in the middle, but not deviate too much from a franchise business that's already doing really well. So I mean, in terms of equipment, that was all okay, fine, done, dusted, a few tweaks, but it was more about how do people want to engage with social media, to click on ads, to buy a membership, how much are they prepared to do on credit cards, and all those things that you don't necessarily think about. You think, let's just find good locations, put a load of gym equipment in it and they will come. It's not that. How you design a user journey on an application is very different.
Yeah.
Not only the sort of the flow, but Arabic reads right to left. English fonts read right to left. So when you create a dual language web app, it's a challenge.
Yes.
Laws, jurisdiction.
And you were overseeing all of this.
Yes.
So you had a lot on your plate.
Yeah. So starting off where you do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And then you start to bring your team in gradually, and that's the fun bit.
Yeah.
Building a team, working together really closely.
Yeah.
And almost, I mean, it's the best way of going, right, I know about HR, I know about IT, not expert level, but you've got to have a fairly good sort of level of knowledge to oversee it and understand what's going on. So the team part, I love.
Yeah.
I really do love it.
And when you're touching on that, when you look at, you're bringing in people, whether it's HR, IT, what's your kind of, I guess, mindset on the people that you're bringing in? I think one of the things a lot of people talk about is you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. So you're kind of overseeing everything, running the show, but you want to bring in other people that can add much more value. How did you kind of go about bringing the right people in? So
what the saying is, don't hire smart people to do the job and then tell them what to do. That's the saying, Steve Jobs, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So
I like that.
I got good at it just from sheer volume of interviews, at trying to be mindful of not hiring people that I liked because they were like me.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you found someone that was a little bit different, maybe a bit awkward, maybe it would just take a while to settle into an interview in terms of how you could converse and get comfortable. It kind of gave you a good indication that they might think differently to you. Yeah. And that wasn't a bad thing, that your skills could dovetail. And if you're good at different things, if you've got everybody that's good at the same thing, therein lies all the conflict, because you've got all the alphas and all the people with the big personalities all clashing. And then what you're missing is the detailed-oriented people who are executors and process-oriented, who are consistent and reliable. So if you could find that sort of link of people, and it's difficult because you tend to sit and you can enjoy the company of people and knowing that you're going to be spending hours of your life with them if you can relate to them really quickly. But if you can't, it's just digging and understanding and taking those little uncomfortable, slightly awkward moments and saying, okay, what am I recognizing here? And then knowing if that's your person or not.
Very interesting point, that, actually, because it's, I think, like you say, when people talk about hiring and bringing people, it's easy, isn't it, to have a chat and think, oh, so nice, a great person, really like them, and like that's enough to bring somebody into your team, your company, whatever it may be. But actually, like you just said there, might not actually be the best people for the job, because you want those awkward conversations, that these people are the ones that can knuckle down and do the detail side and do this stuff maybe you wouldn't do or you wouldn't see, and that's what you want, right? It's a nice combination. It's a very interesting point. When you look at kind of the PureGym journey, and something I'm aware of is obviously that there's still the traveling back to Dubai, having a family here in Dubai. How was that? Because you were going to Saudi on a Sunday, Monday, coming back Thursday, Friday, was it? Was that your typical kind of week?
Yeah, so for the first part, it was Sunday to Thursday, with the odd day where I could work from here. But it was tough. I mean, I guess there was that saviour of 2 years of COVID where travel was off the table. So luckily I'd had Tommy in 2020.
Okay.
That was the February. By April we were in lockdown.
Yeah.
And then that travel ban was put. So I was one of those very few but fortunate people that COVID worked in my favour, because I'd had a baby. The thought of getting on a plane when he was teeny tiny was just not something I could sort of reasonably get through in
Yeah.
my brain. So there were parts of me saying while I was pregnant, can I do this? How am I going to do this? Should I start thinking about somebody else for the role? Maybe start doing a bit of succession planning.
Okay.
And then it happened, and it took that conversation off the table. The first 4 gyms I did for PureGym, I didn't physically set foot in them until the fit out was almost done.
Wow.
I did all the tours virtually online. I interviewed my team online and hired them online. So I had an office in Riyadh that I didn't visit for a year and a half.
Wow.
So I guess it goes to show you what you can do when you've got a purpose and a mission and good people. You don't necessarily sort of have to be there pushing them.
Yeah, and that's where the team element then kicked in as well.
Yep.
It's also a very interesting point I think you make there. I mean, it's easy to look back now, and I guess it worked out well because, like you said, you got to spend that time that you might not have done, or it might have given you more challenges. Do you think if it wasn't for COVID that you might have got to the point where you would have had to continue with that succession planning and maybe stepped away sooner than you did in the end?
I mean, it was always going to be a moment of move to Saudi or leave the role and stay in Dubai. That was going to be a conundrum that I could see coming down the causeway. So I guess, again, it was my saviour, because I had a long period of time where I then established the business. The first 4 gyms absolutely flew, which when you're running a business, if the numbers are good and when you're turning up to board meetings and you can show progression, development, month-on-month growth, quarterly growth, then the board don't really question logistics. And they'll leave you to make the decision on how often you need to be there, sort of monitoring if the team is required. So, I did that for another 5 years. Great brands, great business, still a great team in Saudi and here. So, yeah.
Nice. And then made that decision to step away.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'd say is when I was doing the sort of commuter slog, and we'd moved to JGE, the sense of space and greenery and peace was something that I really valued. You know, Riyadh was pretty hardcore. Living in the greens, it's a bit more urban, a bit more in city. So this was a really good sanctuary for me to come to and be with family and, you know, everything around here, you know, all the country club and the pool. So I valued that a lot.
And that kind of brings us nicely on, I guess, to JG, and, you know, we've talked family, and, you know, you've gone from, as you said at the start, the journey started in Sport City, nice place, over to the greens, nice place, and then JG. You've touched on a couple of points as well that, you know, are very attractive here. How well did you know JG before you decided to make this home? Did you have to go and spend a lot of time looking at other places, or did you just know that's where we want to live?
It was interesting because in 2020, we were probably like a lot of people living in an apartment saying, gosh, wouldn't it have been nice if we were living somewhere with a garden, so we would have had that outside space. And we decided to be brave and say, I know it's COVID, but I think we could probably do quite well if we invest well. And I think we started looking in Dubai Hills. And it was randomly one day that Pete said, why don't we look in JGE? Because we came up here a little bit when they had the old sports bar before the Crafty Fox was here. And we did spend a bit of time up here. We used to come up for the golf tournament every year. So we were familiar with it. We had a few friends here too. And it was one day Pete said, there's this community called Whispering Pines in JGE, and I think we should go and have a look there. So I said, oh, I'm not familiar with it, but okay. And we arrived, and it wasn't what I thought, because we'd been viewing a lot in Dubai Hills. So my sort of thing was, oh, it'll be big rows of houses, sort of all the same, nice communities, lots of amenities. And we arrived, and we're sort of driving around this community, and there's little cul-de-sacs, and it's really green. and your neighbours aren't sort of
Yeah.
backing onto your house. It was just lovely. Viewed a few houses across a few little pockets as well, and then we landed on the house, and yeah, I think we did that deal pretty quickly. Again, like a bit white knuckle. It's COVID, and nobody really knew what's going to happen. You're going to buy something and then just be stuck with a house that nobody wants, because it was before the big boom in villas. There was still, your popular communities like the Meadows and the Springs with that location. So it was a bit of a, let's do it. And it was one of the best decisions we've made in property.
It sounds like a bit of, you kind of mentioned this at the start as well when we were talking about all in. Yeah. And it kind of sounds like you were, again, all in on that. Is that a theme that runs through life, would you say?
Yeah,
or is it maybe not on purpose, but...
Yeah, I guess like going to open a business in Saudi, if you deliberate on things for too long, it's very easy for you to start then going down rabbit holes of research and stuff, and then you talk yourself out of it. Sometimes, like, I'm going to go all in, and then almost doing that, what's the worst case scenario? And then once you've sort of done a bit of a calculated risk, kind of like getting on board with something, and then the courage of the conviction just to go with it. So yeah, I think that's probably a sense of both Pete and I, of just, once you've made the decision, commit.
You've committed, you're in.
But you kind of know what that worst case scenario looks like should you need to revert back.
It does. It sounds like with the career that you've had and the decisions you've made, and we talk about property and stuff as well, and going all in then on JG has worked well, right? From a perspective of the property, but I guess from a lifestyle and growing a family here as well. Has it lived up to your expectations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I guess with everything, all the moving and shaking and property prices really going up, it has obviously been tempting for us to take a view outside. Yes, we've viewed other houses and other communities, and always taken a step back and said, if we moved there, it will be nothing like our life here, and we hold so much value in our lifestyle here. So we have taken all of that off the table and said, regardless of the value, this is home. We love it, and we could never find something, I don't think, that we would enjoy as much from a community, like just the layout of the house and the size and everything's perfect for us. We've just done some renovations, and
very nice.
As with lots of these houses, you tend to have these big balconies, and you can get permission, and by the time you've closed in a few balconies, your house is a lot bigger. You've got a lot more space.
You're like, that was there all along.
And I can see there's lots of development. People are literally reconfiguring houses and really changing it for the way they want to live life. So just really great decision for us. And we didn't really have to compromise on too much when we lived here as well, because going from an apartment lifestyle to a villa community, it's a big change.
Of course.
And there's lots of benefits and lots of things that are very different. But yeah.
And the renovation process, you kind of just gone through, finished there or thereabouts? How has it been?
I think we're about 2 weeks of finishing.
It sounds like it. There's a lot of I guess maybe a myth and expectation that renovating a house is easy, and it's like there's no hassle, there's no stress. Have you found it easy, enjoyable, stressful? Have you hidden away and left the country so that people can just get on with it and you come back?
If we rewind to the first part where we've just been away for a month, that will tell you everything.
It helps.
Yeah, and we chose a good contractor, but as with anything, nobody's ever going to do something in exactly how you want it, because we all think a bit differently. So obviously there've been things that were done while we were away that we've sort of tweaked a little bit since we've been back. But on the whole, other than having this sort of impenetrable layer of dust that seems to exist in our house, really happy. We're on the home straight now, and I'm looking forward to not having...
Getting rid of the contractors.
Yeah, not having a big pile of like concrete bags outside the house and shovels and stuff. I am looking forward to our driveway being clear and being able to use the pool in the garden again, like just all the nice things. That's a real luxury, isn't it?
Of course.
So I'm really glad we did it, but I'm glad we're almost at the end. Having said that, if you don't do the whole house, you end up then saying, I'll just do that bit, and then I'll just do that bit, and then you sort of, it's cyclical, isn't it? You don't really end with the renovations, but it's a nice problem to have.
No, definitely. And you're kind of doing it for the long term, right? And
yeah.
And going back to kind of the family aspect, obviously you have a young son.
Yes.
How much of a sort of, I guess, family community do you see JG as? Is it a great place for him as well to be growing up and, thriving at his age?
Yeah, I mean, as families, kids, all ages. Tommy has a better social life than most people I know. He's constantly in the cooler months. I mean, there's, you'd know better, 7, 8 parks all in the different communities.
At least,
of a morning, there'll be a chat about school, and then it's which park are you going to today? And then this guy can't make up his mind. Like, do I go to Redwood Park? I think some of my friends will be there, or maybe Lime Tree. So what a lovely situation. And the buggy life is, you can be dropped off and driven around. Lots of play dates, lots of communities, lots of like-minded families. And I think when you have similar values about sort of raising your children, and you find people in those communities, it's much easier. Kids play together and you have something in common. So that's also been a really nice component of living here. Not one that I think we intentionally came for, but then found that once we got into the community. I remember I first moved here and I found a Whispering Pines Facebook group.
Of course,
and I put on there, this is us, and I've got a son, and he was 2, and I got loads of messages back, and before I knew it, he had play dates here and play dates there, little birthday parties in the back gardens. It was just lovely.
And that's, I guess, another kind of feature probably with the community as well, right, is that there are people that want to welcome new people and, will help, right, if you need some advice and support, you've got questions. There's people, and you're probably one of them now, that's helping the new people coming in. And that's, I guess, a feeling that goes through the community itself, right?
Yeah. I mean, the monthly, who's got Take My Junk coming? Oh, me. Okay, well, get them to come to mine as well. And get them to come here. So, there's a really nice...
And also amazing for the kids, isn't it? I know it comes down to the weather, but to be able to go out to the parks in the morning, after school and whenever it is, and just to spend that time outside, which is becoming, I guess, more and more of a challenge for kids these days with all the technology, but it is such a nice, safe place. How important is that safety aspect for you and for family?
It's an interesting question, because I don't actually think it's something that's actively on our radar. Having just come back from the UK, having Tommy go outside and play, I'm way more mindful of who might be around, how far I'll let him go from me. The answer is not out of my eye line. Here, I don't know, if we're in the clubhouse and I haven't seen him in 4 or 5 minutes, I'm okay with that. If he sort of pops outside or at the park and he's not in my eye line, I don't worry about it. I don't think you can put a value on that. To not have to worry about that element of safety.
It is. It's I guess it's a big driver as well, right, at the moment for Dubai and communities like JG and people moving from different parts of the world. And you're right, you cannot put a value on, especially your children. I mean, it's great for us as well, right, as adults to feel safe and secure. But when you've got kids as well and family, it's precious, right? It's important.
And our little guy has just taken up drumming in the music centre. In the Al Andalus place. They've got a little music place in there, and it was lovely because he went in and I said, I wonder if he'll be into music, and he went into this centre and they did an exploration session, so they let him try the drums, the piano, the guitar.
That's a good idea.
And then he landed on the drums, and that's what he does once a week. It's right near the house. And Now my parents can't get over it. It's like we take him there on the golf buggy.
Yeah.
So it's wild,
It's
isn't
not
it?
bad,
And
is
it's
it?
like,
It's not
that
bad.
was not my childhood growing up.
No,
This
no.
is what it is.
Yeah. So a drum kit must be arriving at home at some point soon, surely. Or are you going to try and keep driving the golf buggy down to...
I was going to say, for as long as we've got a golf buggy,
okay.
the lessons and the playing will be externally facilitated and not in the house. Or those ones, you know, like with the headphones.
Yes.
But then, I don't know. Yeah. So hopefully drumming will stay around for the long time. Because as you said, like of an evening when you sit and there's been minimal screens, devices,
Of course.
you consider that a
Yeah.
win,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
Music and
Yeah.
going out to the parks and play areas.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Pete and I both work full time. So for us, being able to take him to places is challenging. But when you've got the buggy and our nanny can drive, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because he can come back to ours and then he's off to this park and then he's there and then a bunch of kids arrive at ours and Halloween's really special.
Yes.
Trick-or-treating.
Everyone goes all out.
And they have competition, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
I never entered that, but I think I get too competitive if I go
This is
all
where
in.
you have to reel that all-in aspect down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I could go for the Christmas competition. Yeah.
So what's next? Obviously, moved away from PureGym, and I know that you're not just sat still doing nothing, enjoying the sunshine and driving a golf buggy all day.
I was just about to say moving to Flame Tree Ridge, but then you made it about work.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that bit in a minute. I see you, busy away working. I'm sure you work from other places as well as Botta, and
Yes.
So, what's going on? What can you tell us? What's next for you?
So currently working in I guess for all intents, but you could call it a longevity centre. So similar field. It's an amazing place. It's in Dubai Science Park. We do diagnostic testing.
Okay.
So anybody that's got any ailments, wanting to find out a little bit more about themselves, their health, athletes that want to be better, execs that are saying, I've got no choice but to be high performance, but then I have all these corporate dinners and things, and when do I find time to train? So all sorts of blood testing, from gut checks to sort of full blood panels, lots of cortisol checks for all these stressed executives, lots of women, perimenopause and menopause is big. So lots of not only the testing, but then the connecting the dots to sort of what's next. We've got a full therapy and healing centre. We have our own supplement range. So it's really, and I think very, very Dubai as well. I think we are a culture of looking after ourselves and being very aware of our health and fitness and what that means for our children. And they're going to be demanding of us. So we need to be pretty much on optimal form all the time. So it's new for me. I'm learning a lot. We have a team of doctors. We have a clinic. We've got some stuff going on in Egypt as well. Functional medicine practitioners, physiotherapists. So it's a great business.
Sounds
I'm
pretty
learning
impressive.
a lot. Yeah, and for me as well. Like I love fitness. I'm a bit of a geek. So I get my bloods done and trying all these different protocols, tried and tested.
So you're happily raising your hand when someone says, we want to do this, we want to try this out. And,
I'm there saying, God, even though it's maybe an injection, or try it. Working with a lot of the gyms to see if we can add to people's health journeys. So people that are working out, is we can do a test to tell people how they should train based on their DNA.
Okay. Wow.
Tell people how they should, really what supplements their body can and can't tolerate, which is wonderful. I did that one myself. So basically, all the magnesium I was taking really wasn't necessary, but I couldn't sleep. So then they put me on something else and I sleep like a baby. Wow. So
and that was born out of doing tests to find out what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
probably something that a lot of people could do with doing.
Yes. Yeah, like the sleep thing. We get a lot of people coming, and I don't know if it's conducive to Dubai. I think it's quite a fast, high-paced. A lot of people are here for work,
Yeah.
and then this amazing life gets created out of it. But it's demanding. It's a lot of competition. It's a very, if someone's doing something really well, somebody else wants to do it better. So it's quite competitive, but it keeps you on your toes. But at some point, adrenally, you kind of go, okay, enough. So so I'm on this sort of journey now, which I've never worked with doctors and osteopaths and physios. For me, it's always been the pure fitness journey. So real learning curve. Yeah. I'm loving it.
Good.
Learn something new every day. That's me right now.
And it sounds like something that's very, I guess, kind of like you said, it's topical at the moment in a way. And do you think that's down to, awareness? Because you touch on, let's say, business executives, for example. I mean, we happen to know a fairly good executive coach. And I think, again, stuff like that is something that people are now looking for. But when it comes down to, your health and, I guess, fitness, it's maybe been a perception for a while. Well, it's athletes that need that, not me who is running a business. But actually, it's hugely important, right, for these types of people to be monitoring their health and their fitness to help them do better in what they're doing on a day-to-day basis through work and family life and everything else. So, I imagine you're seeing a pretty good demand right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people who have been on these journeys of sort of Mounjaro and all the GLP-1 type medications to lose weight, have their place. But what we're seeing is a few of the after effects where we're having to sort of reset people's systems. Yes, they've lost the weight. Yes, they're feeling a bit better, but they've got no musculature and their thyroids are a bit out of whack. So all these things are great to take in moderation, but you really need to be monitored by a doctor and do the work on the other side of it as well. So we're very well-rounded. We believe in the traditional medicine and the functional sort of medicine, more holistic approach. And the two go hand in hand. But if you're that person that's buying the best supplements and potentially spending thousands every month, you probably need to know whether your body can tolerate it and whether you're wasting your money on something that your body just goes, just get rid of all of that. Yeah. So.
And is that sort of the approach, is that somebody would come in and it's almost like you come in, you sit down, you discuss, and it's like go through the full spectrum testing to suggestions and a long-term type of plan? Is that the usual?
Yeah, I mean, it's what you want. And then through the testing, we establish what you need. And then that normally ties back into anything in terms of symptoms, what they want to achieve. And everybody has their own bespoke protocols. So it's very personalised for that person. You get assigned a wellness companion, and that person goes on that journey with you. So we have a team of PTs as well. If someone, like I did my test and they said, well, you've got lots of fast twitch muscle fibers, that's just your makeup. So long, slow distance running is just bad news for you. And I'm like, well, Jesus, I've done far too many half marathons in my life. No wonder I wasn't feeling great. So now I've just switched up all my training. I'm feeling better.
Yeah, perfect. Wow. Okay, amazing. Well, it sounds like you're enjoying it and getting stuck in and all in as well to that. So if people want to connect with you, for example, to kind of discuss that, where's the best place? Are you active all over social media? Are you meet down in JG for a coffee?
I'm in Bota a lot, as are you.
And the gym, of course.
I'm always in the gym. I do go to another gym next to Tommy's school as well. Okay. I'm a woman of 3 memberships, if you wanted to test my commitment to health and fitness.
It only seems right, given your industry experience as well.
I'm always in Bota, very active on LinkedIn.
So that's the one.
And then the centre that I work at now is Precision Wellness in Dubai Science Park.
Sure, we can put a link to the website and your LinkedIn in the comments for this podcast as well. So.
And any of my perimenopausal friends, women. It's a real journey. And I met with a guy recently who's been doing my blood since 2012, and he said to me, I really feel sorry for you women. And I was like, that's not what I want to hear. And he's like, all these hormones and you're having kids, and then you go through this phase of life where your body's like, we're not having kids anymore. And So I was like, I just want to turn up at work and remember stuff. Do you know?
Not asking for much. Okay, well, Susan, look, it's been very nice to talk to you. Very interesting as well. We've known each other for a few years now, but I've kind of learned some new stuff as well today. So yeah, it's been a great journey, and yeah, it's always nice to see you busy away in the gym and in JGE, and yeah, you've got a cracking family. Your husband's all right as well, and yeah, I'm sure your JGE journey will continue, and it sounds like you're in a very exciting place now as well with the work side of things. So yeah, so thank you. Not going to let you go just yet. We've got a very brief quick fire questions. So Dubai or Saudi? I know that's city or country, but we can say Dubai or Riyadh if you want.
Hands
Dubai,
down.
okay. Jumeirah Golf Estates or Dubai Hills?
Easy, JG.
That was kind of a test question. I sort of knew the answer, but I just wanted to make sure.
You would have cancelled everything had I said Dubai Hills.
Podcast over. Castori or Basola?
Basola.
Okay. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? Castori in the winter when they don't have the awnings over. Yeah. Sunsets. Yeah. Beautiful.
Nice view up there.
Basola, food, service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Crafty or Botta?
Oh, that's like asking me to choose between Tommy and Pete.
That's my next question, actually. No, it's not. They're a bit different at the same time, so I can see the challenge.
I'm going to have to go, and you say Botta, I say Bota.
Bota, yeah, well, you might be right, I might be wrong.
Okay,
so
I'm going Bota. I'm a breakfast eggs girl.
Yeah.
Even though they do breakfast in the crafties, I'm going Bota.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm going to ask this question, but I know you don't play golf, but it's just kind of, you can give an answer. Earth or fire, of course? I'm sure you've heard Pete waffle on about one of his golf rounds.
I mean, if I said Majlis, would you kick me out?
Yes, absolutely. So
okay, I'm going to go Earth.
Okay, perfect. Gym or swim?
Gym.
Gym. Working or working from the cafe?
I'm talking Bota.
Yeah.
Bota.
Yeah. It's a good place to work, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice environment, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then Pete or Tom? No, I'm not.
I can answer.
I know you don't. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for finally accepting my invite. I know you've been very busy, and we've had my fault as well for stopping the podcast for about a year as well. So no, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
It's been a busy time in property. I'm amazed you've got the time to do this.
That's why we do it on a Friday afternoon, isn't it? So.
When everyone's working from home.
No, so thank you. It's been great, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of interest and value, and I'm sure you'll have some connection requests coming in on LinkedIn. There'll be people now stopping you in Botta while you're trying to do some work, and well, yeah, hopefully there'll be some good contacts that might want to have a chat and look at what you do as well. So thank you very much.
And no abuse for somebody that lives on a golf course but doesn't play golf.
Yeah,
I don't want any trolls.
I do have a good friend that play golf that cannot understand why anybody lives in JD and doesn't play golf. But you know, there's more to JD than just the golf.
Well, they're going to come for me, aren't they?
But no, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you
very
so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.